Alrighty guys, how's she going today? So, well, or tonight, probably should say, because she's about 6 o'clock at night. And as you can see, I'm probably wearing the winter hat already, breaking that out already for the season. She's cold out. It's not, it was colder I think yesterday because of the fucking wind, but it's not too bad now with the wind fucking calming down instead of being a fucking little whore. But yeah, so I'm doing this with the GoPro, by the way. Could have done it with the I guess with the big camera, but the reasons why I don't use that camera in the wintertime is because the battery life doesn't last in it. GoPro does much better in the cold, even though I could be damaging the battery in this camera too, but what are you gonna do? And the lights don't hardly even want to fire up because they're cold. I popped the breaker in the house 2 times trying to get the air compressor to turn over because I needed it to blow out the hoses. You can see here this reel here of hose. I forgot to bring that in that one night, and it got down to like, I don't know, about 15 degrees, and the hoses froze. So I brought them in the house and I left them in overnight to unthaw, and then came out today and I blew the hose out, which actually works. Oh, it works. It definitely works. I guess I always found it better to do it the other way. Was just trying to actually. I just like blowing it out or moving it out by hand. You know, you take the hose off the reel and it comes out as you're doing it. So, and this is the old gun that we had on the hose. That's broken now too, and I thought this one was supposed to be better made because it's all aluminum or steel or whatever the hell it is. It's made by Nelson or whatever. These things just don't last like they used to. No matter what you fucking buy, they're fucking junk. This is a little bit more expensive than what their last one, than the other one that we were looking at. We were looking at 2, and then one was all plastic, and this one was a little bit of steel or whatever, and then a little bit of plastic. So we thought, well, spend an extra few bucks, we'd probably get a better one out of having a steel one. But it broke, so something's broken inside there, so the water just continues to spray out. But I ain't gonna fucking worry about it. I'm gonna try to find something way better. And I got the work lights on. I'm just giving them another test again, see how they're doing. Just don't use them, so I'm gonna use them a little bit. But there still is the slight breeze out there that's freaking ice cold. So Taylor's still in pieces. I'm just gonna leave it. I did put some fuel stabilizer in that, and I did run it. So the gas will be good in it, but I'm gonna order probably a tranny for it later on, and we'll fucking. With it being so late in the year now, I'm not gonna really want to bother with it. I gotta take that fan in too and bring my heater out. Even though I don't know if I'll be doing. I don't plan on doing a hell of a lot of videos in the wintertime. Last winter was decent, but I don't know, this year could be a horror for all the hell we know. So, but I was watching a video just a little bit ago here. If you guys remember Double O Strike, okay, well, he doesn't use that channel anymore. He's got that Tractor Guy channel or whatever. He uploaded the video today, or just a little bit ago, and apparently he's expecting some snow. He's already got some snow apparently on the ground already, but he's expecting a big dumping here pretty quick. And it's got me thinking of a couple of things. One, we're fucking lucky because there was just a snowstorm about 8 hours south from here. No. Between my place and Minneapolis, it was in between there a little bit, but it came up to us pretty close. We were definitely. It was windy here that day that they were having the snowstorm, so I knew that the high winds that we were getting is what was feeding that snowstorm that was going on down south there. So she was fucking cold that day. But we were in that warning, that blizzard warning, for the first week that they had predicted that, and then they changed it to say that we're lucky if we'll probably get anything. And we just didn't get anything besides a lot of fucking cold air from the north, so that was obviously feeding that snowstorm down south a little bit there, but it's got me thinking about that, is that, we're lucky so far this year to not have anything. I don't know what month we are, or what the date is here in November, but I think we're about halfway into November already, and I don't think we've even seen any snow fly yet. I think that one night we might have seen a couple of flakes, but that was about it. I mean, it didn't do anything, it didn't put anything on the ground, and if it would have, it probably would have melted anyway, but it's just, I'm not really looking forward to winter. So that's going to be a fucking fun year. But there was another thing that I was thinking about too, that I should have been doing this summer. And I think it was even BearTech that was suggesting this idea. Maybe it was someone else that was suggesting it. I don't know who the hell was suggesting it, but to maybe put a cab on Big Red, because they apparently make these little cabby things for them, and well, from what I can tell from the one I've been looking at, because there's some out there that are really fucking cheap. There's one on there that's going for about $100, and it would be better than fucking nothing. Which I may invest in that, because I'm just getting sick of the fucking wind. But the thing that I should have done this summer, which probably would have been a hell of a project, but it would have allowed me to do it my way, is I should have built a cab for Big Red. Now, I was going to build one for the tractor at one time, but that was just going to be a screened-in cab. That wasn't going to be like a winter cab. That was supposed to be for in the summertime to keep the mosquitoes off me. Never did that project. Just I wasn't really ever sure how the hell it was going to work out. So, but probably should do that project too. But I think the thing is I should have built the cab for Big Red. Now, I could have built that cab in such a way, I think, where it could have been almost semi-permanent, kind of. Or I could have just made it permanent, but the thing is I would like to be able to remove it for the summertime. But then again, maybe it might be a good thing in the summertime to have too. I don't know. But what I was thinking of doing is what I should have done was I should have built the cab from front rack to rear rack. Now this would cause some issues because you have to be able to remove the racks to service Big Red. Mainly the front one. The front one mainly has to come off because that's where the battery's at. And that's where you got to feel your antifreeze. Well, if you would have designed it and probably where that part of the cab could have been just like a breakaway, maybe it would have been alright. But the thing is that I want a fully enclosed cab. Now, what I think I could have done is I could have just made it out of some like 2x4s. Maybe a little bit smaller than a 2x4. And then for windows, just order some plexiglass and then just, I guess just screw it on there or whatever, or maybe even um, put it in between two pieces of some 2x4 or whatever and get it pinched in there really good. The thing is, what I wanted to do is build the cab to where it goes all the way down to the footrests. With these cabs that I'm looking at, don't have that. They only have the upper half, which would be from seat level to your head. You don't get any leg protection. Another good thing that would have been good about this cab would have been that instead of doing all this fucking half-ass wiring for Big Red's work lights, warning lights, those kind of things, I could have just made a panel up, and gotten some switches and just done it all, a neater job. And not have all this fucking wiring just, flopping all over the place. So, that would have been a nice thing to do. And I might have even been able to maybe set it up to even maybe get it to put a heater in there. I'm sure there'd be some half-ass ways of making a heater. If there was a way you could heat a coil, somehow either stick it on the engine block or on the exhaust pipe, and then let the exhaust pipe heat it up, and then you would turn the fan on or whatever, and it would blow. It would suck the heat off that coil, and it would just blow it right into the cab. That would have been really a nice thing to have, but what are you gonna do, right? So, but yeah, I know that for the John Deere, I could have gotten a cab. Well, they have multiple different kinds of cabs for those tractors, but the thing is, I don't have even a blade on the tractor, and the tractor would not be very good for plowing because it's only two-wheel drive. So, I'm gonna have to stick with Big Red for this. So, for now, anyway. So it would have been nice if I would have built the cab for Big Red, because I think another thing I could have done is, if I really wanted to, if I could build it just right, I could probably put the work lights up on top, instead of on the fender like that. And then, and have the warning lights put inside the cab, mounted to a, piece of wood or something like it would be now to Big Red's racks. Except it would be a lot more, it would be in there a lot better, Right now it's just kind of half-assed with some self-tapping screws, which went into plastic and didn't do fuck all of it because now they're getting loose. So I guess with all the jerking around and stuff and hitting potholes, I guess it's kind of ripped the screws out of the holes a little bit. But the one light bar in the back always seems to get loose. The one in the front seems to be doing okay. So I'm not too sure why the one in the back keeps freaking ripping off, but it does. So, but what are you going to do, right? So, yeah. See, but the thing is, too, if I were to build a cab, I could go to the height of the antenna. Because I know that the antenna would clear the garage up at the big house. It wouldn't clear in here. So, meaning I could probably build the cab to about the height of the CB antenna, which should be plenty high enough. But the thing is, that's not going to happen. So, for actually building one, because a little bit late in the year now to be building one, so. But it would have been nice. That's what I should have probably been kind of working on all summer, because you could just make it out of some 2x4s or something, and then you could just you could either make it removable or permanent, however you want to do it. If it was to be more permanent, you would have to put extra work lights in on the front, because then you wouldn't be able to use that third light that's in the four-wheeler's handlebars. You could still use it, it's just that if you were to make sharp turns, you'd still get hit with lightning in the cab. So, there comes a truck. I can't tell if he had his... Oh, he does. So, yeah, I just thought it would have been nice to have had a cab put on Big Red, so I may have to buy a cheap one. And then maybe... And hell, he's empty too, and he's driving like bat out of hell. So... Oh, itchy. So I don't know how these cheap cabs would do, but if I could maybe modify them too. Maybe instead of having... Because some of those... Or the two that I've looked at so far... Just have the zipper doors. They're just zippered on or whatever. You can zip them up and whatever and zip them down. Well, I think if I could make them like a swing out instead... It would be better because then I could build it right down to the footrests and then block a hell of a lot more snow and cold air. You're never going to be able to stop it 100% because you would have to then put stripping on it, weather stripping or whatever, to make it like a tight seal. I mean, yeah, you can probably get that stuff at the hardware just fine, and that would probably work just as good. But yeah. And the thing with these cabs that you can buy, they're not for, from what I can tell, they're not really meant for my kind of ATV. They're really meant for four-wheelers that have an actual steel rack, and it's just round tubing. Compared to on Big Red, it's more flat, and it's just made out of plastic. So you'd have to modify that setup to make it more, to make it stay on there. You'd have to either... make a bracket or something, you know, and bend it, and then whatever from there. It's either bolt it down or screw it down or whatever, or even just clamp it down with, you know. If you could get maybe some really tiny ones, well, even some vice grips would work too. If you could get your hands on some really tiny ones of these, or even some of these, like these are a number 7. These are 7 inches, so I don't think you can get them any smaller than this. You probably can. Get them as small as you possibly could, and then you could just, you know, that would be like a temporary, or that would be a removable way of removing the cab. So, I don't know. But fucking plowing snow in the wintertime, and if you gotta do it when it's blowing out, you know, it's not much fun. Would have been nice to put a blower on the John Deere, at least then it would be in... I could get done a little bit quicker, but you'd still be out there for a while, and you would still be freezing your fucking balls off. So no matter what, you're kind of screwed for the year. But I'm still trying to figure out the freaking shit for the CV for the house. So I got that other antenna coming now, so hopefully that'll fix the freaking issue. If not, then I don't know what else I'm gonna fucking do then. Because this antenna doesn't require a ground plane, so apparently it should work fine. So, and then after that, it'll be time to, I guess, order a CV for the tractor and stuff like that for the big tractor. And that tractor's been at the farm now. It's not here anymore. I left it at the farm because, well, that's where it's going to be staying for the winter anyway. But the guy came Saturday and he unhooked the chisel plow from the tractor, but he didn't have the right hitch, so he said that he would have to go all the way back home to grab it, and he said that then he has to go pick his kid up from school, so he said the time he'd get here it'd be after dark, and he don't want to be hauling the damn thing after dark, so he said that he'll be back. Says he wants to be back before Christmas Eve, so I'm thinking probably tomorrow, Monday, he'll probably be back to get it. So, but, yeah, and I know that Double O Strike was saying they put a blower on the big tractor. Well, there's two reasons why I can't do that. One, actually there'd be, well, there's a lot of reasons why I can't do it. One, don't have a top link. I gotta order one. That 3-point hitch is a category 3. The guy looked at it and he said it is a Cat 3, so we know what it is now. So I need a Cat 3 top link. I gotta get the blower fixed because I don't have heat or air because the blower don't work, so I gotta get a new blower in it. Um, and just come to find out, my 3-point hitch is locked up, and I can't move it. The lever don't even want to move. So something, either they bolted something to keep it from moving up and down. I don't know. But the thing is that the 3-point hitch still seems to settle. So it can't be the actual 3-point hitch itself, that's seized. It can't be because when my tractor didn't move for a week there or whatever, the 3-point hitch was starting to settle down. But of course, then when you start the tractor, it repressurizes everything, so then it puts the 3-point right back up. So the lever, there's something wrong with that fucking lever that's not allowing my 3-point to move. So as of right now, my 3-point's locked up. So, and the guy said that they put like spacers in the 3-point, so the 3-point really couldn't move around, like left and right wise. He says they put too many plates in there to keep it from moving, so there wasn't really a lot of left to right play. You don't really want a lot anyway, but there's too much, and the 3-point can only move like an inch in each direction, so there's not, they're too close to the wheels. So if you drive through a muddy field, your 3-point hitch is going to get covered in mud, which is where if you were to have it with no spacers in it, you could really just, you could squeeze that 3-point hitch in and then just, put a rubber strap around it or something to keep it in. And then when it comes time to use it, you can just take the rubber strap off, and then let your 3-point move. So, but I ain't going to fuck with that this year. I ain't going to worry about it. The tractor's too damn big for snow blowing here. It would be alright at the farm because we got plenty of yard dirt to blow. It'd be okay for here at the for the driveway and the mailbox, but maybe the shop. But that's about it. Everything else would have to get done with Big Red. So, but yeah. So I'm going to probably look into investing in maybe some kind of a cab for Big Red or something, even if it's just a cheapy thingy, because this is just ridiculous. It's freaking cold shit, And then it might even be good on a rainy day if it happens to be raining out. But what would be nice is if I built my own cab, I would actually do a solid front windshield and a solid rear window, and I'd actually put wipers on them. Whereas on these, they don't have them, right? Because they're plastic. So, like I said, I think it'd be a fun little project to try to do one of these days. Yeah, you can go to the lumberyard and just get some 2x4s and put them away for the winter, but, and then the cab could just be made out of, a couple layers of plywood or something. It doesn't have to be all high-tech and just paint it, And then you could just put your strobe lights inside the cab instead of on the outside. So, but yeah, that's just what I think anyway. It would have been nice, I guess, if I would have maybe built some kind of a cab for Big Red this year, but I didn't even think of it. So, I don't know. I have to see how things go because just got that feeling I'm going to be doing a lot of plowing this year. I mean, so far we haven't gotten any snow, which is a damn good thing. But there's always going to be that one day, And while I think they do make cabs for ATVs that do cover the whole length of the machine, but I don't think they have really much for any support in them. Since I think about it, I think they might have made a couple of them, but I don't think there's enough strength to them to really hold up to like even just work lights put on. So I don't know. I may have to look into that. Maybe if I find something I like, maybe I'll put a link to it below or something. But it can't be any taller than the CB antenna, because if it's shorter than the CB antenna, then I think we'd be okay. And then it would actually be nice too, because then I could actually just build a support rail in the center on the front and the back side of the cab, and I could just mount my warning lights to that, and that would be good enough. But the doors, like I said, I don't think the doors would be swingable. He would have to, I guess, somehow try to, design it so it would then. But I don't know. I think it would be cool to have a cab on Big Red, because it's fucking cold. It's ridiculous, and then it'd be nice to be out on a cold, windy day. Just driving around. Even like that, when I made that update video for you guys on how the tractor did in the field, it was a cold, blowy, fucking windy day. It was cold. And if I would have had a cab on it, I'd be good. I wouldn't be warm, but I wouldn't be freezing my balls off either, like I am right now. I'm freezing my freaking balls off making this damn video. So, but the tractor didn't have any heat. Now, mind you, that is a big cab now, too, but it actually got warm in that cab, and it was slightly cold out, too. Especially when I went for that second round, that second day was, it was probably slightly warmer than what it is right now. And I was comfortable in that cab. I was actually pretty warm. And I don't even think the fucking sun was out either. No, the sun wasn't out because I wasn't wearing my sunglasses that day. So it was, it was fairly cold, and then it was fairly warm in the cab. So I can't imagine what it would be like in Big Red. If Big Red had a nice little, neat little freaking cab on it, son of a bitch. But yeah, I should have, because they don't really make a lot of cabs for ATVs. That's just the thing. They don't make a lot of them. A lot of people don't spend their time even trying to make them. I wish someone would, design one that would fit on to my kind of four-wheeler, and you could really go all out. It could be heavy enough to support lights. It could be, maybe it could have some kind of a heater in it. Maybe, it probably doesn't really need air conditioning, but, as long as you can open the doors or the windows, you'd probably be pretty good. But, yeah, I don't know. The only thing with those cabs that I found for those ATVs, it's just that they're not really designed for, my kind of four-wheeler. They're designed for ones that have a steel round rack, that have round tubing on them, because it'll clamp to that then, whereas Big Red doesn't have that. Now, I could go buy those rack extensions for the four-wheeler, and that would probably help. I don't know, but I don't know. But those bigger cabs, the ones that are more fancier, are a lot more money. I think I seen one that was going for like $300, which is kind of ridiculous for a cab, but it might be a good cab too. I don't know. But I don't know if it's a permanent type cab or if it's a one that you can take down in the summertime. But yeah, another thing too is I'm getting sick and tired of having to kind of like waterproof everything just to wash the fucking machines, So guess it would have been nice to get my hands on a Ranger, because I could have just put a cab on that, but you'd still be, you wouldn't be able to plow snow with it, unless you got a plow for it. Well, buying a plow would take up my money for getting parts for the cab, so unless you can find a used one that's already got a cab built on it, but then you'd also have to find one that's got a snow plow on it too. So I don't know. We'll have to look more into that and see if I can come up with something, because I wish I would have built one though. Would have been a little bit nicer, I guess. But we'll have to see what we can come up with and whatever. So, but yeah, I figured I'd just share that with you guys. I just thought that's something I should have done. Was built the cab, because really I got these chunks of steel here too. Even though these were for the gate project, I still gotta get more of that steel. I think that was 1/2 inch by. I think that was 1.5 by 1.5. So that was for the gate project that we still gotta do. Still gotta take my roller apart and get the rest of those pieces off it. That'll give me back some of my steel, but yeah, we'll have to try to think of some kind of a cab for Big Red, even if it's just a cheapy one for now. I guess it would help a little bit. I would have to probably, I guess, try to modify it later on and try to make it so it's more closed up a little bit. But yeah, they don't exactly give me the height on those cabs. So, what are you gonna do, right? So, but yeah, so maybe we'll look around for cabs for Big Red and see if we can come up with something and see what the hell happens. Because Big Red I think could use a cab, even in the summertime. He could use one because then at least I could leave it out in the rain and don't have to worry about the CB getting wet. Don't have to worry about the warning lights getting wet. Because that'll all be enclosed. So the only thing that hasn't gotten covered up yet was the CB radio. I haven't covered that up yet for the winter. I'm not even going to disconnect it or nothing. I'm just going to leave it. So I'm just going to maybe wrap it up in some plastic and... Because I'm probably not going to use it in the wintertime. I'll probably just take the mic off and, the talker piece, just take it off. I don't know. So... But yeah, so anyways guys, I guess I'll probably take off. Just wanted to give you guys that little bit of a story. I just thought it would be nice to, I guess, put a cab on Big Red, even though they're kind of spendy. For a good one anyway, they're spendy, but you can get some fairly cheap ones, like I said, for like $100, but they don't really exactly do what you want them to do, so... But we'll see what happens, boys. So, if not, then I'll have to try to build one. I guess get a cheap one for now, and then build one next year. So... yeah, so I guess guys, I'm going to take off, so I guess have a good day and stuff, so yeah, thanks for watching guys, take her easy.